Sonpra, a cyclist from Polokwane, has been living with type 1 diabetes for over 30 years. He says maintaining his fitness, particularly through cycling, enables him to manage his condition and enjoy a better quality of life. He says technology also plays a significant role in managing and monitoring his blood sugar levels. Sonpra uses a device called the continuous glucose monitor. It is a sensor that has been inserted into his upper arm and takes constant blood sugar readings throughout the day and night. The device sends the data about his glucose levels to his cell phone app and the bike's display screen.
We're using this CGM. I'll just show you. It's a sensor that's connected onto my arm here, and the sensor lasts 2 weeks. You got to pull it out every 2 weeks, put in a new one. And I find the sensor being so helpful because it's continuous glucose readings that you get on there while you are sleeping, while you are busy throughout the day, and when you're working, everything. So 24/7. You're getting your glucose levels, your glucose level readings. And when my glucose levels are either going down or going high, it'll give an alarm reading saying that glucose is going down or glucose going up. And I got to monitor, it automatically monitors my glucose readings throughout the day.
Sonpra spends most of his time at his store in Polokwane and does not let diabetes stand in the way of his life.
When I was diagnosed at 1991, at the age of 16, I was told not to be able to do any exercising because of type 1 diabetes. And it was a bit of a shock to me. And with time, you got your magazines, reading magazines, you're seeing people people living with type 1 diabetes, exercising and all of the type of sports they're doing. And I found some people cycling as well. And I gave it a try and I said, let me start cycling and see what happens in my diabetes journey. And the good part is that I decreased my insulin, so my medication, I decreased my medication. I kept my glucose levels sort of not 100% in order, but it brings it down, whereas my HbA1c readings, so it's a 3-month average reading, came down quite a lot. And it was a very good blessing for me, especially with cycling and diabetes.
Sonpra's wife says people living with diabetes need support from those around them. She says she is involved in managing her husband's condition.
What I love the most about the fact that he has a CGM, which is a continuous glucose monitor, the patch that he wears on his arm, is that with that, I actually get the alarms through a link-up app. So if his glucose goes low or his glucose goes high, it just gives me a bit of understanding of what he needs. So if his glucose, for instance, while we're at work and he's busy with a customer or he's busy doing something and I get the glucose alarm, it just helps me better understand what he needs in that moment. So I can give him a sweet that he needs to eat. If his glucose is high, I also know that, high glucose can cause irritability. Sometimes eating needs to change a little bit for that. So I know what to give him for food. I know, what to be in that moment for him. And it gives me peace of mind as well, because if I'm not with him and he's out on a cycle or he's out with friends or he's out with family, I get the alarms and I know, I can keep a checkup to see if he's okay as well. So it gives me a lot of peace of mind, and it made a very, very big difference to how we deal with diabetes in our household and our day-to-day.
World Diabetes Day is commemorated annually on the 14th of November to raise awareness and increase the visibility of the diabetes campaign. This year's theme is diabetes and well-being, and it aims to highlight the importance of care and support for people with diabetes. A medical doctor says early detection and management are crucial for diabetes patients.
The reason for it, especially on their feet, is because the sensation and the blood supply to their feet can be affected due to sugar diabetes for a long time. They walk barefoot, they step into a thorn or something, or a nail, they don't feel it, and then they get infection in, and at the end there's not sufficient blood supply to heal it, and then usually the case is they come to the doctor when it's too late, and then that's why then it needs to be amputated. More important than the medication for diabetics is lifestyle modification. So they need to exercise. They also need to look at their diet, at the food that they eat, try and avoid high carbohydrate and fatty foods.
The World Health Organization says about 422 million people worldwide have diabetes, majority living in low and middle income countries. And about 1.5 million deaths are attributed to diabetes each year. The number of cases and diabetes prevalence have been steadily increasing over the past few decades. I'm Koke Chomotau, SABC News, Polokwane.